Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about place value. Now, at any point, if you need to copy what I have down, don't worry about it. Just press pause and then resume the video whenever you're ready. So we're going to be focusing mostly on numbers after the decimal. However, we are just going to review the first few place values before the decimal. So we have our hundreds, our tens, our ones, then we have our decimal. And whenever we have our decimal and we're saying something out loud, we say and, okay? So if you see a decimal and you're saying it in word form or writing it in word form, you say and. The first place after your decimal, that's your tenths place, okay? That right there, that's gonna be your dimes. Then you have your hundredths place, that's gonna be your pennies. And then we have one more called our thousandths place. Notice how they have the THS sound at the end, okay? I know this one got a little bit squished. So let's take an example. Let's go with 61. So in 61, there's 6 tens, okay? 1 ones, and, so decimal, 804 thousandths. Okay, the reason why I'm saying thousandths is because that's the last place value that my decimal is in. If it ended right here, then it would have been hundredths. And if it ended right here, then it would have been tenths. So this is 61 and 804 thousandths. Okay, so there are a few ways to write a decimal number. Okay, the first one is standard form. Okay, now standard form, that just means you're writing it the regular way. When something is standard, it's normal. So here you're just going to write your number the regular way, 61 and 804 thousandths. This is the way that you're usually seeing your numbers in standard form. The next one is word form. Now, word form helps you whenever you're trying to think about how you would say a number out loud. So here, my first number is 61. And then I have my decimal, so I'm going to write and. And then my next number is 804. And then I look at what's my last place value with my decimal, and that is thousandths. So I'm going to write that at the very end. Okay, now I ran out of space right there. That's why I did this. However, if you need more space, please feel free to use it. So after my word form, I have my expanded form. So for my expanded form, I'm going to make mine even longer. I'm going to break down my numbers based on the place value. So the first one is my 6, and that is multiplied by tenths because it's in my tenths place value. Then I have my ones. So I have 1 times my ones because it's in the ones place value. Then I'm moving on to my decimals. I have 8. Okay, and so this one, it's only one space after the decimal, so I'm going to write decimal 1 plus, I don't have to write 0. Any number times 0 will give you 0, so there's no reason to write the 0. So I can move on to my 4. So I'm going to do times 4 times point. So I'm going to look at my point, and then I'm going to see how many numbers do I have before my 4. 1, 2. So that means 2 zeros. And then wherever my 4 is, that's going to be 1. And then my parenthesis. Okay? And that right there, that's my expanded form. Now I know you went over all of this in 5th grade. This is just a reminder. Okay, so next we're going to talk about one of the rules, and that is my trailing zeros. So whenever something is trailing, that means that it's behind. So if zeros are after a decimal and I'm going to underline the and at the very end of a number, they do not count. Okay. They can appear and they can disappear. Okay, so here is an example. Let's say I have 5 and 4/10. 5 and 4/10 is equal to 5 and 40 hundredths. It's equal to 5 and 400 thousandths. It's even equal to 5.4 and then as many zeros as you want at the end, because those zeros can come and go whenever they want. Okay. What that doesn't apply for is 5.0, or sorry, 5 and 4/10 is not the same as 5 and 400ths. Because here the 0 is between 2 whole numbers. Okay, it's not at the very end, and it is after a decimal, but it is not at the very, very end. So that 0 is important. Okay, so now let's talk about my favorite subject, and that is money. Okay, so we're going to see how this applies to money. Okay, so for money, let's say we have a $5 bill, and then we have 30 cents. Okay. Compared to, let's say we have another $5 bill, and I have 3 cents. Okay, so let's talk about these two numbers. If I have $5.30, I'm going to write it as $5.30. Okay, and then whenever I write it in expanded form, I'm going to write 5 times 1 plus 3 times 1/10. Because if you remember, this 0 right here is called a trailing 0. That means that this 0 can come and go whenever it wants. It could be 5.3, okay? But because it's money, it's 5.30, it's $5.30. And this right here, this is the expanded form. We would say 5 and 30 hundredths. If you need to, you could always plug your numbers back in here, okay? Just use the decimal as your spot. So you know that right before there's 5, so there's going to be 5 ones, okay? I could have 5 $1 bills. My decimal stays the same. My 3 is in my tenths. Remember, your tenths are your dimes, so that means 3 dimes, okay? 10 cents, dimes. The 0 is trailing, so I can add as many as I want or take away as many as I need, okay? So now I have $5 in this one. And now I don't have 30 cents. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 3 cents. Okay, so if I'm writing this in word form, I'm going to say 5. Then I have my decimal. My decimal means and. The number after the decimal is just 3. So, and 3. However, this 0 right here is not a trailing 0 because it is after the decimal, but it is not at the very, very end. So this is still included. 0 tenths, 3 hundredths. So that means, and 3, my last place value for this one is hundredths. So I'm going to say hundredths. Now, whenever I'm writing the expanded form, I have 5 in my ones. So it's going to be 5 times 1, parentheses, plus my zeros. If you multiply by 0, guys, you already know you get a 0, so don't worry about it. And then 3, and this time my 3 is in my hundredths, okay? And that is 2 spaces after the decimal, so I have 1 0 in my tenths, and then I'm going to put my 1 in the hundredths, okay? And that is how we work with place value. You're going to see that place value is super important in 6th grade math. We're going to be working a lot with place value. It's really going to help you know how to convert your decimals to fractions, your fractions to decimals, and whatnot, okay? I really look forward to starting 6th grade math with you guys. Thanks.